Hey guys, we're taking off early this morning. Got up with the birds, heading off to go check out some Mayan ruins. So this pre-Columbian Maya site is just about 40 kilometers southeast of Merida, Mexico in Yucatan. It's an amazing place, and it was just kind of crazy to think that we got here and it was basically empty. There were no other tourists. We had the whole place to ourselves. You can see here no people walking in and out like you would find in the walkway over in the more popular Chichen Itza. It only cost 45 pesos to enter, which is just over $2, which is just crazy to think that in comparison to the price of entering Uxmal or Chichen Itza. We ran into basically just a few workers here mowing grass and doing some maintenance work. So like I said, we had the whole place to ourselves with a guide who was giving us kind of all the historical background information, which was great to have because this is quite the hidden gem here in Yucatan, Mexico. So we climbed up a couple of the pyramids here. This one in particular was one that was used for sacrifices. So we're at the top here of this particular pyramid they used for rituals, usually when like state officials or governors passed away. There's an altar down below, and there's a fire pit, and then there's also a water area. And this part here is actually the incinerator where they would bring the animals up with them, and they have found bones in there from all different types of animals that they brought up here for sacrifice. I really think that it's a shame to miss out on this really on this hidden gem. It's a forgotten city, essentially. Even though they do maintain it, they don't really spend a lot of energy attracting tourists to it. This actually, Mayapan used to be the political and cultural capital of the Maya people in the Yucatan between the 1220s and the 1440s. Look at this property here all around, all these buildings that have been excavated, and some restoration work has been done on a few of these, and they do of course upkeep the grounds with the trees and cutting the grass and just keeping vines and growing and clippings and stuff off of the structures themselves. There is still some excavation, quite a bit of excavation taking place on the entire property. So they're taking a break obviously right now because of some restrictions, but some of the things to kind of share a little bit more about this is they do also have a temple of Kukulkan here in Mayapan, similar to the one that you will see in Chichen Itza. This one is of course smaller, but this one, interestingly enough, actually has a pyramid inside of it, and it is built outside of that structure. There were approximately 15 to 17,000 people living in this city with over 4,000 structures. It's amazing to walk up to these so close. You can actually walk right up to them as opposed to the structures that you see in Chichen Itza, which are being preserved a little bit more adamantly because, of course, there are so many tourists approaching that area. But the area all around it, this jungle area that you see all around the outside edges here, this is from the top of the temple of Kukulkan. You can see the entire complex that has been excavated, but all that greenery you see is actually still engulfing some of the old structures as well that haven't been pulled out of the jungle just yet. So it's actually pretty incredible to be able to look around and just see how much of this area is still yet to be uncovered. So again, in this back area here, you'll also note some of the cenotes that are actually on the Mayapan property. There's also quite a few in the surrounding area, about 26 in total in that area. The cenotes, of course, being the sinkholes that are actually a source of water to the community. So here you can see a little bit closer the rock structures there just behind the tree. That's actually more of Mayapan that has not even been touched yet. It's just sitting there the way it was found, basically still in ruins, which is absolutely incredible to me to be able to see it just right there still. 1841 is the earliest documentation of explorers who found this site. It was ransacked in the name of exploration for years by various people. And then in 1938, the first large-scale archaeological surveys began, and they were able to kind of map out the enormous complex, and they began the excavation work and the restoration work. You can see some of the murals here that you'll find at Mayapan, which basically show scenes of war and events related to even a death cult. So not all the murals are open to the public, but you'll find several like this one on display under protected coverings as well. So you can see them, but there is a rope area that's keeping you from actually touching them. So you can see them well, but see here, when I pull back, it's actually roped off, and it is covered to keep it from getting too much sunlight on it as well, so that it's not affected. We have access also to looking at a lot of these carvings that they did in references to their gods, and a lot of it told stories of the families that lived here as well. So there's just so much that is in this property that is being missed out on, which is again just such a shame that it's not more of a popular, what you would call tourist destination, but this is definitely one that you don't want to miss out on. Mayapan is definitely overshadowed by Uxmal and Chichen Itza, but don't let that deter you from visiting this incredible site. This site is rich, I mean rich in lessons to help you better understand the Maya. It is best viewed with a tour guide who can give you all of the information and who really knows the history of Mayapan in particular and of the people that lived here in this particular city. It holds really a wealth of information, and there's still a lot of paintings and murals and carvings that they believe are still in here and haven't been discovered yet, or have been discovered and are being, as I mentioned again, protected from any visitors that may be coming to the center. As you can see here, there's this fencing, and there is painting behind there as well. As we continue around the property, walking right out of this structure that looks kind of like a silo, but it was not necessarily used for storage, but you just see more of this complex and more of these murals that again tell these incredible stories of the people who lived in this particular city in Mayapan. Hopefully you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about the Maya people and about this particular property. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give us a like on this video, and we will catch you on our next tour.